have been a safe driver all your life when an unavoidable accident happens. But this does not mean that your insurance premium must increase. With RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, safe drivers will not lose their no-claims discounts because of those minor, unavoidable accidents. For more information on RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, contact us at 223-5734. When it comes to motor insurance, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Not accused of corruption. So let's stop that right bloody there.
Five-term UDP-era Representative Honorable Patrick Farber, who continues to serve his people diligently, is barred from seeking re-election as the UDP candidate in the Collet constituency. But John Birchman Saldiva, who the U.S. State Department has now designated for his involvement in significant corruption and interfering in public processes for his personal gain during his tenure in office, is not only running for office again, but running the party as a regional leader along with Shine and Perifine. What has our beloved United Democratic Party come to?
Not accused of corruption. So let's stop that right bloody there.
A message from the UDP Coalition for Unity and Reform.
We live in a world where undernutrition and obesity can exist side by side in the same country, home, or even person. Foods high in sugars, salt, and/or unhealthy fats are leading to unhealthy diets and are one reason why children may not be growing healthily, while causing other people to develop overweight or obesity. The consumption of unhealthy diets is heavily influenced by marketing. Easy access is fueling this new nutrition reality, but thankfully, change towards a healthier future is possible. By having a sustainable healthy diet made up of a variety of foods that are safe for consumption, we can promote health and have better abilities to fight illness. How do we do this? Good nutrition for women during pregnancy and for children in their first 1,000 days of life, including breastfeeding, sets them up for healthy adulthood and future generations. We should eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, pulses, nuts and seeds, and less sugary drinks and foods high in sugars, salt and unhealthy fats. The less of these foods we buy, the more the food industry will be encouraged to produce foods that contribute to healthy diets. We can also call on our leaders to make the right decisions so that every person, everywhere, can afford and access good nutrition. When people like you and me, industries and governments work together to make positive changes, we can create a healthier world.
How traffic so tight, it's hard to find parking spot out here.
That true to boy. But you forget Dongtong Plaza parking lot?
Sure, which part that day?
Turn right off of Albert Street into Bishop Street and right behind Dongtong Plaza parking lot there.
You sure, y'all?
Yes, man. We could go park in there and then we could go right in the Dongtong Plaza where we could go do our shopping.
You know, after all that, I mean a good idea for make we go in a Dongtong Plaza parking lot. Remember, you, your family, and car are safe when parking in Dongtong Plaza parking lot.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Creamos un concepto que denominamos quirófano santuario no COVID.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Last week, Oceana Belize shocked the nation when they sounded the alarm that the government was planning to do seismic testing in our waters. As the Vice President Janelle Chanona puts it, the only reason to do seismic testing was to eventually proceed to offshore oil drilling. She believed that the government was planning to lift the ban on offshore drilling, and Oceana launched a petition which would hopefully trigger a referendum for the people to decide the course of action. But the government had flatly refuted these claims, saying the reason they were looking into seismic testing was to find out what assets were underwater for leveraging those assets. And over the weekend, we spoke to the Prime Minister in Dangriga, where he clarified their reasoning and expressed his disappointment in VP Chanona for supposedly jumping the gun.
It's unfortunate that the Vice President decided to speak forward, because I thought that we were having a very open discussion about what are the possibilities. But to be able to try to turn it around as if the government is trying to do something behind the public's back, I find it disgusting that she would say such thing. I thought she was a more honorable person, that we could speak frankly and honestly, because she was not being honest. What we were talking about is that now that we finish with the issue with the blue bonds, that we said that it is important also to find out what is it that we have. And that, but for us to be able to find that, we may have to consider to do some seismic testing. The idea behind that, I was saying that if we can, let's say there's, and we're not talking, first of all, we're not talking about the reef. We're talking of way in the deep, in our exclusive economic zone. What if we could find an oil field with, say, 500 million barrels of oil? What I said, that once if we know that we have that, we know we have an asset, that we could go to the rich countries and tell them, pay us to keep it there. We don't want to take it out, but pay us for it. And that's the discussion that she and I was having. At no time are we talking about going behind the Belizeans back to go and do any kind of offshore drilling. That is the discussion that we have, and it's unfortunate that she's trying to use that to try to make herself relevant. We have the notes. My CEO was there, and she took copious notes about the discussion. But it is obvious that maybe she is trying to make herself relevant, or trying to show her bosses that she's earning her money. And you don't do that. You don't do that when you have this kind of discussion. And I'm very, very upset and disappointed that she would say such thing.
And this morning, not nearly as hot under the collar was Oceana's Vice President Janelle Chanona. She appeared on Sun Up on 7 via Zoom, where she spoke about the government's press release that was issued the same day of their press conference. She explained that while she's glad that there have been no issued contracts as yet, she stands by the point that seismic testing should be a national decision.
As has been confirmed by the press release issued by the government of Belize on Thursday evening, the government has intentions to conduct seismic. And we had a conversation with the Prime Minister in September to talk about strengthening the moratorium and making sure that we can leverage that political will and that political commitment by such an important strengthening move. And that's when we found out that this intention was there. And I think it was a relief for me personally to read that contracts had not yet been signed with those seismic studies, because I think, as we've talked about before as well, usually we find out about contracts being signed after the fact, and usually there's a big bill attached. So that was a personal relief. And I think the other big takeaway from this weekend is also that this is now a national conversation. These are shared resources, and that's what we want. We want Belizeans to be engaged. We want people to be talking about this, because at the end of the day, whatever happens next on offshore oil will affect all of us. So all of us should be talking about it and have a vote on that.
Oceana's members are currently going around the country collecting signatures for the petition. On Saturday morning, San Pedro saw its first murder in over a year. A businessman killed in cold blood in a robbery staged by his security guards, who also happened to have a history as lawmen. Tonight, police have one cop who have been on interdiction and another ex-cop detained as the main suspects. Sherry Salsal has the story from San Pedro.
These are some of the last images that Elvis Polanco's family will have of him. The last memories of a loving father and husband, the way he was before tragedy struck. But these images are now shattered by grief after the proprietor of Jade Bar was gunned down and killed while on his way home from an honest night's work. His sons were too grief-stricken to speak this morning, but his brother Fernando lamented his loss and tried to describe just how hard it's hit this family.
We are suffering a lot about this, what happened to my brother, and all we want is from our family is justice, from the family to please the police do something about this, because it's really affecting us a lot, especially all the friends and family. For example, he have a small daughter, just 5 years old, that she was crying all around, looking for his father.
Her father and mother, Tomasa Velasco Garcia, were heading home at around 5 on Saturday morning with $12,000 cash from their business in her purse when a gunman with a red shirt over his face ambushed them, killing Polanco, injuring Garcia, and snatching the purse.
He was with her wife, and she tried to get help around, but nobody helps her to help my brother when he was still alive. And that's something sad to him. I want to say it because it's something sad here in Belize, that somebody asking for help, and she said that a lot of people passed and didn't help her.
The main suspects are 2 security guards he hired at his bar, one a lawman, the other an ex-cop.
Suspects in this particular incident, one is a police officer who is on interdiction, and the other is an ex-police officer who have been dismissed months ago. In respect to the officer who is on interdiction, he was hired by the proprietor of that establishment as his security. And certainly he is aware of the movements of the proprietor.
One of the persons, search was conducted. This is Paul Mortis, 32 years, and he has since been charged with possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition.
All indications is showing that while the interdicted police was working, the one who had been dismissed was there with him, and they were together. And so they may have left together to await the proprietor when he got home and moved in on him. Police investigations so far have led to the discovery of a 9mm pistol at the home of the interdicted police, who is a fella Mortis. That firearm will be packaged and will be sent to the National Forensic Service for examination to determine if the expended shells found on the scene of the murder robbery are consistent with it having been fired by the gun that was found concealed in his home.
My brother hired him to protect him, not to do something bad to my brother.
San Pedro saw its last murder over a year ago, and this one comes just as the island is getting ready for the tourism high season. And Elvis's death has shaken not just his family members, but also friends and former employee Daniele Oliva, who describes him as an all-around good guy.
He gave his life also for his wife. And it's very it's an injustice what they did to him, because, I mean, as far as we knew, he had no enemies, because everybody loves him, or everybody had good relationship with him. He was not a problem person. Anytime he sees a problem, he runs away from it, or he says like, you know what, I don't want any problem, please just stop it. At the bar, he treated everybody very good. His customers were well attended. I mean, it's unfair what they did to him. And I hope this has justice and the person that did this pay for it.
As for Fernando, he can only mourn the man he called his partner in life, a brother with whom he embarked upon the San Pedrano dream 18 years ago when they arrived on the island from Benque seeking a better life.
My brother, we are two of us, he and me. We are the only two brothers from mom and dad. And he just live near my area. We are very close brothers, and we stick a lot together most of our life since we were a kid, and we help each other a lot. So, but he's like a father to me, more than a father to me, because we were poor people. We just came to this island to try to make something in the life, and this is how this island for staying like that. No, I am not accusing the island. I mean, there are some bad people that don't see that we just came to have a better life, like everybody. And that's the plan of me and my brother, to be in this island.
Charisse Halso, 7 News.
As you saw, Polanco's wife also received gunshots to her hand. She is stable and recovering, but had to travel to Belize City today for surgery. Police believe that in addition to the unlicensed firearm found in Mortis's home, he also has a licensed firearm that they have not been able to find. Back in April of 2022, we told you about domestic violence survivor Vanessa Reyes. She was nearly killed during a public attack when her ex-partner, Christian Roca, stabbed her in the temple and chin. But that was 7 months ago. Today, Roca pleaded guilty to wounding, and with that, the attempted murder charge was withdrawn. He was fined but not confined, and the judge ordered that he receive counseling. He also cannot get involved in any legal issue during the next calendar year. As for Vanessa Reyes, she says she's fine with the ruling, telling 7 News via Facebook message tonight, "I'm honestly satisfied with the charge and how he owned up to his action and apologized to me and my family. We are good," end quote. And while Roca is not behind bars tonight, a cop killer is detained after he was charged for murdering 27-year-old PC Lorraine Arzu. PC Arzu was shot on October 12th while she was sitting in a car with another man on Bishop Martin Street in Dangriga. Initial reports were that the man she was with, 45-year-old Lionel Rowland, and the assailant had had an argument, and when Rowland and Arzu got into the vehicle, the gunman opened fire on them. Arzu clung to life for 3.5 days on life support before she passed away at the KHMH. Today, 28-year-old Raheem O'Neill Vernon, a Gales Point resident, was arrested for her murder. Arzu had been a part of Intake 95 and had recently joined the ranks of the police force before she was killed. We'll take a break now. When we come back, Michael Williams, 20 years after he got off one of the Jack killings, he's charged for a brutal stabbing assault on his wife and 2 kids. Also, we'll tell you about Shine Barrow's plan to deal with his party's John Saldiva problem. Plus, Water coming in at the courtroom will show you the consequence of the leaky roof of the courtroom.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double P-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Friday and Saturday. That's right, 2 times the P-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with P-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, P-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Penny's, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Atla Express es un servicio que te permite realizar transacciones financieras cómodamente en comercios cerca de ti. Con Atla Express puedes retirar efectivo, realizar pagos de facturas y tarjeta de crédito, comprar recargas y transferir entre tus cuentas. Solo necesitas una identificación válida y tu tarjeta de débito Visa de Atlantic Bank. Si no eres cliente de Atlantic Bank, siempre puedes disfrutar de este servicio pagando en efectivo. Atla Express es fácil, conveniente, seguro y está cerca de ti.
I must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear so far that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabric. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store is only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Let's talk energy. Did you know that saving energy can affect the overall cost of electricity? Practicing energy conservation helps BEL to use mostly low-cost options for sourcing and delivering energy to consumers. We take proactive measures to stabilize the cost of power by monitoring and purchasing the most affordable energy available at any given time. The more energy we save, the more we can meet energy demands using the lowest cost option. Belize Electricity Limited, providing safe, reliable, and sustainable energy solutions.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Knowing your HIV status is now easier than ever.
Did you know that you can test for HIV in the comfort of your own home by simply swabbing your gums?
OraQuick is an in-home HIV test that can provide you with results in just 20 minutes. The test detects HIV antibodies with over 99% accuracy and is trusted by healthcare professionals worldwide.
If you receive a positive result, you should contact your nearest healthcare clinic to perform follow-up testing and to get advice on what to do to stay healthy.
And even if you get a negative result, remember, it is important to continue protecting yourself from HIV and other STIs. Using a condom correctly every time you have sex is the best way to do so.
HIV self-testing kit is convenient, reliable, and now available in Belize. Your test, your way. Bob.
For more information on where HIV self-testing kits will be available, please contact the National AIDS Commission, the Belize Family Life Association, or the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Stay tuned after this newscast for the Government of Belize's anniversary video celebrating 2 years of accomplishments, delivering on Plan Belize.
Hola, disculpa por no llegar anoche. Lo siento. He estado hace tiempo con ganas de decirte algo.
Últimamente estoy lidiando con mis problemas de salud mental.
I think if there was no stigma around mental health, I'd be more open about what I'm going through on the inside. And I don't know, maybe I'd find that other people in my life are actually going through the same thing.
Há alguns anos, comecei a contar para outras pessoas sobre minha ansiedade. Isso me ajudou a descobrir ótimas formas de como lidar com ela.
Soy muy sociable. Creo que si hablara sobre mis problemas de la salud mental, simplemente no lo creerían. Por eso no hablo de ello.
Me preocupa que si la gente se enterara de mi salud mental, pensarán que soy débil. Por eso me aislé. Pero creo que voy a cambiar esto.
If you've got a lot more good years ahead of you, if you exercise and eat right, but what if something happened? What if you were the 1 in 3 that will be diagnosed with cancer? If you were the 1 in 4 who would suffer serious heart issues? What if it ruined more than your health? What if it ruined your financial stability as well? Sagicor's critical illness solutions can give you confidence in the face of every what if. Let's help you plan for the what ifs today. Talk to your Sagicor advisor or visit sagicor.com.
Scratch and Win would like to announce the launch of one new game loaded with new prizes. Your favorite game, the Loteria board game, is now a scratch game. La Chalupa, El Gallo, La Estrella. The new $3 ticket is called Loteria and has a top prize of $20,000. Ask your Scratch and Win agent for the new Loteria ticket to win up to $20,000.
Weedable gives counts. Yes, shoppers, in giving thanks, Mikado's introducing a new sale, the best one yet. It's not a Thanksgiving sale, it's a Give Thanks sale. Thanks for making Mikado Belize's #1 textile store. Join us in a massive Give Thanks sale on November 25th and 26th. That's 2 days of Give Thanks sale. So, you just can't let the sale slide by you, as you know. Yes, and the sale goes on. So come on down to Mikado on Friday the 25th and Saturday the 26th of November and get your home furnishing and decors all at great prices that only Mikado can give you. Your one-stop for fabrics and so much more. Mikado at number 37 Albert Street. Give thanks.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
And before we continue, a correction when we aired the story about the man accused of killing 27-year-old PC Lorraine Arzu, we aired the photograph of someone accused in another crime. This is 28-year-old Raheem O'Neill Vernon, a Gales Point resident who has been charged for murder. He was accused of killing 12-year-old Jackie Fern Malik in 1999, but was never convicted, and her murder remains unsolved. But tonight, Michael Williams is facing another set of very serious charges.
On
He's
Saturday,
accused
19th
of
day of
stabbing his wife and his 2 children. Cayo police responded to the report that there had been a stabbing around 6 a.m. on Saturday in Esperanza Village. They found 46-year-old Angelita Requena lying motionless in front of the door along with 16-year-old Michael Williams Jr. and 14-year-old Kia Williams. All of them had stab wounds. At this time, it is unclear what happened inside the house, but so far, the investigation shows that their main suspect, Michael Williams Sr., was in a domestic dispute with his common-law wife. The incident escalated when he pulled a knife and attacked her and his 2 children. Police shared a few more details during their press briefing this morning in Belmopan.
On Saturday, 19th day of November 2022, police responded to a stabbing incident in Esperanza village. Upon arrival, they learned that 3 persons received stab wound injuries. They were taken to the hospital, and one of the victims was further taken to the Carl Hirschhorn Memorial Hospital, where she is admitted in a critical condition. An investigation was carried out. It was determined that Angelita Requena, 46 years, had a domestic dispute with her Kamala Michael Williams, who inflicted the stab injuries to 3 of them. An investigation was carried out. Michael Williams was detained, and he has since been charged for 3 counts of attempted murder.
Any details as to the dispute, sir? The nature of the dispute?
They had a domestic dispute, and that is what led to the stabbing.
Williams will be arraigned and most likely remanded to the Belize Central Prison. And Williams will have his day in court, but for those awaiting trials in Belize City's Magistrates Court, well, they'll have to wait a bit longer. That's because Hurricane Lisa damaged the roof over 4 courtrooms, rendering them completely unusable, especially on a rainy day like today. Due to the collapsed ceiling, water poured into the building, and even lighting fixtures were left hanging after the hurricane. Chief Magistrate Sharon Fraser is hoping the problem will be fixed soon, and while it is frustrating, she understands that there are plenty of others out there who need assistance just as urgently with their own roofs. She spoke to us today.
Well, you all are aware the roof went off, and of course we sit below the section of the court that the roof went off. So all that water that is pouring, it's pouring down, and it's coming down to us. So particularly on the section that holds court 3, 4, 5, 6, particularly court 4, the ceiling has now caved in. It's really not safe to have persons, whether it's the magistrate, the staff, or even the users of the court or the prisoners. The place is full with water at this point. I'm hoping, and we've been told that at least they'll try to cover up the roof, but even then water is still in there, so we're dealing with mold issues now at this point. I had just invested some in trying to demold the place. And no Hurricane Lisa, well, we can't predict it. We could not predict it, Hurricane Lisa. So, but it's impossible to hold any sittings on that side of the court at this point.
Do you feel like the process to get the roofs fixed has been very slow or delayed?
Well, I know that they're trying to help a lot of people could have had, particularly with this building that is in fact a historical building. So there needs to be some planning as it relates to it. Prevent some of the water that is coming down to us.
But it must be frustrating too, not being able to properly carry out your job because of afraid of getting wet.
Well, it's a little frustrating, yes, because basically sharing courtroom, they go and do their matters, and then I wait, then go and do my matters. So that is where the frustration is. We have a number of matters that are actually set for trial. We're not able to address those because of the fact that we're sharing space at this time. I'm hoping that soon, very soon, maybe in finding somewhere to relocate, we could at least continue serving the public in the attainment of justice.
It's been almost a week since the U.S. State Department dropped a bomb on the UDP's John Saldivar, designating him as, quote, significantly corrupt. And the question for those 6 days has been, what is the UDP especially Shine Barrow, going to do about the Saldiva situation? Barrow had kept the former Belmopan rep as his closest inter-party ally. Today, news emerged that the UDP leader has set up a 7-member special committee to decide the former leader's fate. In a message to his executive, Barrow writes that it is, quote, a special committee to allow for due process and swift conclusion of the matter, considering the extremely serious allegations being made by our greatest bilateral partner. The members include Party Chairman Michael Parafit, Ethics Chair Aldo Salazar, Rules Chair Ashton McKenzie, and Legal Advisor Steve Pereira. Well, about 10 minutes after we broke that news on sunup this morning, Pereira sent our newsroom a text message to say he would be resigning from that group. He says, quote, the U.S. State Department made a decision, and that fact remains. I am not going to be a part of a committee that will speak against or possibly challenge that decision, whether directly or indirectly, end quote. No replacement has been named, but Pereira clearly doesn't want to cross the path of the U.S. State Department. This committee will convene on December 2nd, and in his note to the party, Barrow says it will, quote, thoroughly consider all the facts presented by the U.S. and any other interested party to allow the accused due process to defend against the accusations. And while Saldiva will have a chance to make a presentation in his own defense, it is unclear if he will even appear before this special committee. Since the designation, Saldiva has been defiantly digging in his constituency by activating campaign teams in preparation for a divisional convention. And while he does that, in his message to the executive, Barrow cautions his party, quote, it is not just legal innocence or guilt. We are a mass party and we must take into consideration public sentiments as relates to key issues such as corruption, personal misconduct, and any other actions that exposes the UDP institution to a breach of public trust and lack of confidence, which will have damning ramifications next general elections, end quote. We'll see where this one goes, since the UDP just recently dumped Patrick Faber as a candidate in Collett. It's left to be seen if it can do the same to former leader Saldiva. This morning in Lord's Bank, police stopped a bus to search it and almost ended up in a shootout. That's because 26-year-old Joel Choko allegedly tried to escape the cops by running towards the back of the bus door. And when that didn't work, he allegedly pulled a firearm from his waist and pointed it at one of the officers. That officer fired a warning shot, which caused Choko to drop the weapon, leading to his arrest. While it's newsworthy that Choko, who is thought to be a member of Taylor's gang, was brazen enough to pull a gun on a cop, what's even more noteworthy tonight is that that very same gun, a 9mm pistol, actually belongs to the police department. Sources tell us it was reported missing by a policeman 1 week ago after he misplaced it while on special duty at MJ's nightclub. So, Choko pulled a cop's gun on the cop. Choko has since been arrested and charged with kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. And in other news, Garifuna Settlement Day was celebrated on Saturday, and in Dangriga town, it seemed to be bursting with excitement after a 2-year pandemic pause. The residents went all out. The Euromane, the ceremony, and the parade had throngs of people who traveled from all over the country. Indeed, all over the world. It was a celebration of culture and unity, of music, dance, and drumming. And our news team was there from the start to the finish. Courtney Menzies has this story.
There's no better place to celebrate the 19th of November than right here in the culture capital. And after 2 years, Dangriga town came alive. Drums echoed through the streets, accompanied by voices of the Garifuna people singing ancestral songs carried through generations on rhythms brought to this side of the world centuries before. And with their black, white, and yellow flags held high, it was a celebration bathed in rich culture in the way only the Dangriga residents know how to do. The day started at 6:30 a.m. with the Euromane, the demonstration of how the Garifunas arrived on the shores of Belize over 200 years ago. Droves of residents, both from the town and from across the country, crowded the riverside, Many still dressed in the outfits they wore at the celebrations the night before, to watch as the boat sailed under the bridge. From there, the festivities continued with a parade. These cultural celebrants like a choir in motion, building out the lyrics to traditional Garifuna songs that ended at the Sacred Heart Church. It was here that the Prime Minister joined the celebrations, and after a 2-hour mass, residents went to the Alejo Beni Park for the official ceremony. The Dangriga area rep, Dr. Louis Sabane, explained that it was one of the grandest 19th they've seen.
For all of us here in Dangriga, we were so excited by the turnout. This has been one of the largest in history for Dangriga. People from all over the country, and certainly, as we say, Grigalesians from abroad, from the United States especially, came by the hundreds. And we're so grateful that Prime Minister could have joined us today from the very beginning, from the mass all the way, parading, marching back here to the Alejo Beni Park. So it's been a really wonderful day for us here in Dangriga.
But it's not just about the Hudut and the Sahau. The speeches at the ceremony emphasized the need for a conscious effort to keep the culture alive.
Today is more than another day. Today is the day we celebrate our existence, struggles, and future. While today starts the celebration of our ancestors' arrival to Belize's shores, it should also be a month of reflection and preparation for the future. Let us be the change we so often complain we need. Let us actively work on making a positive contribution to benefit our Garifuna people. Let us go back to being our brother's keepers. 227 years later, we have lost the essence and meaning of Abu Amurenu. We no longer look out for one another, but choose to bring down each other rather than looking at what is happening in front of us. How our culture is dying. Our youth no longer want to identify as Garifuna only around celebration time. We will never move forward if we continue fighting each other. We need to stop blaming other people and government agencies for issues within our culture that we have control over to change. Let us move forward with one collective voice. It is time to heal the wounds and come together for the survival of our Garifuna people and culture.
We need to learn to motivate each other and look out for each other. This is the only way the Garifuna culture will continue to celebrate success. What have you done to help keep the culture alive? What have you contributed to keep the culture going? How have you helped to impact the new generation with our dance, language, food, music, spirituality, and clothing? As I say, I will leave you to ponder on those questions. If your answer is nothing, I will say to you, it's not too late. If your answer is yes, I have done something, I will say to you, do more. If you say you have done a lot, I will say to you, more is never enough. The culture is only as strong as its people make it to be.
And the Prime Minister added that the 19th of November is used to unify the different cultures in Belize and urged the Garifuna people to keep on passing the tradition to the younger generations.
What is also special, though, is our ability to use occasions like these, not only to embrace, but to celebrate the diversity and to reject those sentiments of our past which sought to divide us. Today, we are all shareholders of this amazing, vibrant Garifuna culture. So together we pray, together we give thanks, together we dance, together we eat, together we celebrate. Together we have to preserve this culture. Garifuna parents, you must ensure that our Garifuna children speak the language, hear the stories. As I have said before to our Garifuna mothers, sing to your babies in Garifuna so that from early they can hear the Garifuna words and be uplifted by the very sound of that colorful language. Teach your children Garifuna history, because Garifuna history is Belizean history. And even as we celebrate, let us remember our Garifuna ancestors who lived and died to promote this culture and who played their part in building Belize.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
NPM Percent News' appearance at the Dangriga celebrations were part of his southern tour. On Friday, he was in Toledo, speaking with the leaders of Punta Gorda town and the surrounding villages. And while he was in Dangriga, we asked him about the concerns he had heard from the residents.
What we did is that I wanted to be able to take the opportunity to be able to go to the field. I've said before I was elected that I need to find time to go and listen to people. And basically that's what I did. I met with the chairman of the village councils and the alcaldes. There are about 60 of them. And listened to their concerns, the issues of obviously the road, how we could help them with agriculture, how we can help in trying to make things better in the area, the concerns with the MLA, the concerns with land. The vast majority of them are saying that they would want to be able to have access to their land, because some of them have had land for a long time, but now because of the court ruling, they feel that they can't move. So it is something that we believe that we have to take a closer or a harder look.
And on today's tour, apart from this ceremony and whatnot, is there anything else you're doing here in Dangriga? Well,
I'll go and visit some of like Miss Sylvia Flores and a few other people just quickly to see how they're doing. And these are people that have served the community, they have served the country very well, and they've been members of our party. So I want to give a quick visit to them before I try to eat some really delicious food before I can go home.
We'll tell you about 2 fatal accidents over the weekend and the Belizean accountant shot and killed in Puerto Cortes, Honduras. Don't go away.
Every business has a beginning. The BCCAR is transforming the business environment through digital registration. OBRS is a secure, web-based solution that will allow users to easily register your business or company, file documents electronically, receive e-certificates, and more. Business registration goes digital on November 28, 2022. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube to learn more about the OBRS.
Atla Express is a service that allows you to perform financial transactions conveniently at your neighborhood stores countrywide. Enjoy the convenience of cash withdrawals, bill payments, credit card payments, top-up, or transfer between your accounts. All you need is your Atlantic Bank Visa debit card along with an ID. Non-Atlantic Bank customers can also enjoy the service by paying with cash. Atla Express is easy, convenient, secure, and near you.
What is Medriva? Medriva is the easiest and safest way of booking a taxi or delivery service. Here's a guide on how to use our services. Download the app, available in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. Tap where you're going. Your location will be picked up automatically, and you can change location by entering a business name, street, or PIN location. Select delivery or economy, the number of packages or persons, your payment option, cash, credit card, or e-cash. Tap confirm, and a driver will accept your booking. You'll see the driver's profile picture, name, license plate, and the color of the vehicle. You can also message and call the driver. You will see real-time tracking of your driver approaching you, and you will be notified when he or she has arrived. Rate the driver by your experience. An electronic receipt will be provided. Tap the hamburger menu. Tap points for every ride completed. With Medriva, you can earn cashback deals to use on your next ride. Tap promo code. This is your special code to share with family and friends to earn discounts on your next ride. Medriva, transportation at your fingertips.
Safe, welcoming, the start of a new chapter. Your home is one of life's biggest investments. Let's protect it. Have you made any recent additions to your property? If so, your home may not be adequately insured. The average clause states that if the amount insured is less than the cost to rebuild, you, the insured, will become your own insurer for the additional amount. To better understand this, let's look at two homes equally valued at $150,000. Home 1 was insured for $150,000, but later, an additional $50,000 was invested into the home. This means that the home is now inadequately insured for only 75% of its value. Home 2 was insured for $150,000 3 years ago, and you haven't invested in any additions. However, inflation and the rising cost of building materials mean that rebuilding the same home today will cost $180,000. This means your home is inadequately insured for only 83% of its value. Therefore, if both homes suffer a $50,000 claim in damages, Home 1 will only be entitled to 75% of this claim, $37,500, and Home 2 will only be entitled to 83% of the claim, $41,500. To avoid this from happening to you, we invite all policyholders to call your Atlantic Insurance agent for guidance today. Being adequately insured gives you the peace of mind to focus on family and life's precious gifts. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
I have been enjoying my job so far as Prime Minister. It's been the greatest privilege I have had in my entire life. A lot of work, very, very stressful. But one of the things that I dislike most about my work is that I feel like a prisoner, that I can't leave the office. Because every single day there are issues that we have to deal with. And people expect you to get to their problems immediately, as soon as it possibly can. And as you realize by now, that when we were elected on the 11th of November 2020, 2 years ago, we inherited a bankrupt country. And we realized that we had to address these issues immediately, because if we don't, we would not be able to implement Plan Belize, a very bold manifesto full of ideas on how we're going to fight poverty, how we're going to create opportunities for our people, how we're going to ensure that our children can go to school, how we're going to redo our hospitals, and how is it that we can get our people to own a piece of land. Here in the Toledo district, we have good, hardworking, honest, loving Belizeans. And I'm so proud to be here.
What does family mean to you? Form a strong bond with your family. Always remember, they may not be in the same place. Make the time you spend together fun and memorable. Ignore the petty differences. Love them while you still can. Life can be short.
Look, I
You can be the glue that keeps them together. Family. Meaningful always.
Social Security, transforming service delivery. My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent. Make appointments online and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information, tutorials, and guides. A complete 360 view of your Social Security information is coming soon, which includes a new employer portal for employers, businesses, and self-employed persons, contributions history and statements, all SSB benefits, medical portal for registered doctors, and fingerprint enrollment all in one place. Social Security at your fingertips. The significant enhancement of service delivery to you is here. My Social Security.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
I am.
We are.
All of us.
Together.
12 decades working to achieve health for all.
Individually, collectively, universally.
This is our mission.
We stand together with all people.
In every community, every country, throughout the hemisphere.
Because we are healthier.
Together.
We are the Pan American Health Organization, celebrating 120 years of solidarity in advancing health and well-being, leaving no one behind.
gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain. The sun, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven shouting, love for the Father and the Son.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
The IBL committee will be bringing out the rings and trophies this Saturday, November 26th at the Belize Civic Center. Will this be the end of the tournament? And will 15 kings be crowned? Or will there be a decisive and third game 3? This Friday night, the Belize Civic Center will not be the same. A king not named Charles will possibly be crowned, or a superstar will force a game 3. Will there be a champion?
They all walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What a piece of money.
7:30 p.m. will be the battle for 3rd and 4th place between the Belize Coast Guard and the Belize Water Service. And then, let's get ready to rumble!
If you are what you say you are.
In the grand finale of the night, the superstars will be out in Game 2 of the Best of 3 series. Rico Black and the Toughen of Tours, led by Francis Naitiarana, Ian Renee, and Jamal Kelly drew first blood and are now ready to close off the Central Health Customs Squad, led by the #1 point guard in the land, Glency Cooper Lopez, alongside Akeem Evans and Stephen Wade, seeking to force it all the way to Game 3. Breaking news caught up to a Tough Enough player after their big W. What message you have for the Central Health Customs guys?
Tell them that the series over and we're about to.
The halftime will feature the young and dynamic Belize superstar Yastalia performing her hit song Tropic.
In the tropics, I'm the hot topic. I built the tribe, I'm living.
Just another level!
Bring out the entire family this Saturday, November 26th to the Belize Civic Center. Sponsors: Racina's Imports, J&W Supermarket, Mahib's Wholesale, Barefoot Hotel, Cabana Used Clothing, Midway Wholesale, Mirage Belize, Car Guys, Harris Import, Prestige Auto Sales, Cellular World, Posh and Store, VIP Wireless, Nando's Wholesale, Benny's Home Center, Crystal Water, Sprite, Powerade, Travelers, Channel 5 and Channel 7, Creme, Wave, Love FM and More FM. Let's get it on!
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
A well-known Belizean accountant from Big Creek was shot and killed in Puerto Cortes, Honduras last week. Arturo Magana, who worked for years at the Big Creek port, was reportedly in Puerto Cortes on personal business when he was targeted in what looks like a hit. Honduran media reports that his wife told police that they were staying in a hotel and went out to buy dinner when they were intercepted by a man on a motorbike who didn't say a word and just opened fire on Magana. He died on the scene in the Rio Mar area of Puerto Cortes. Dangriga town is gearing up to expand its boundaries up to the commercial Bight port, which could mean an influx of tourism for the town, especially since a new project named the Southern Deep Port Development is proposing to invest $25 million to accommodate luxury cruise ships. But Southern Deep Port Development is being led by the cousin of the Dangriga area rep, Basilio Zabani. We asked Dr. Louis Zabani if this poses a conflict of interest.
For us here in Dangriga, that has already been aired out long ago. People already know that the Mr. Basilio Zabani, who is putting up this proposal, has been a very, very vibrant member of this community, is the largest employer right now as we speak. So we have had this discussion on local media here in Dangriga with the Southern Workers Union and others who are fully supporting Mr. Basilio, who has been, as I said, a very major contributor to the development of Dangriga. The government has looked, there's a process. So people who have applied for, with interest, there's a process. It goes first to the Belize Ports Authority, then it goes to the minister, then from there it ends up going into the House of Representatives, because I believe it's a project that is over $2 million. So these are the steps that we need to take that were not taken by the previous people who were there. So you have these various departments, entities that will have to do their part.
But doesn't the Norwegian cruise line have the monopoly on cruise ports here in the south?
As far as we understand it, this project will be for small cruise ships, which fall way below the number of persons per boat. So we're talking here about 100 to say 500 persons per boat. So that's that's below the radar, so to speak, for the big guys. But very, very relevant for Dangriga, for our interest here in continuing to develop our tourism product. The people who come on small cruise ships usually pay or spend 5-6 times more than those who come on the large ships. They stay longer. They're looking for quality service, things that are going to be meaningful for people who are offering those services to them.
So do you think Dangriga can handle having a higher influx of tourists?
Indeed, right now, sadly, we have barely any tourists at all. Most of them go farther south to Hopkins or to Placencia. So this will be an opportunity now to bring tourism to Dangriga, to allow for Dangrigans to be the ones to provide the services, to provide the food, to provide whatever types of arts, etc., that tourists usually buy when they're in a country. So we're very excited about that possibility.
According to the concept document, Southern Deep Port Development is planning to rehabilitate the port to also accommodate live-aboard vessels, board an international marine terminal to host and process international vessels, and develop a full-service marina with hospitality facilities. Early in the news, we told you about the robbery-turned-murder in San Pedro and the stabbing involving a man from Esperanza Village who allegedly attacked his common-law wife and 2 children. All that happened on the Settlement Day holiday when 2 men also lost their lives in separate traffic accidents. We start with the traffic fatality at the roundabout near San Esteban Village in the Orange Walk district. That's where first responders found 23-year-old Paul Vasquez after he lost control of his motorcycle and suffered major head and body injuries. Here are a few details from Senior Superintendent Gilberto Romero, the officer commanding Eastern Division.
At 5:51 a.m. on the 19th day of November 2022, police responded to a fatal RTA at the San Esteban roundabout. Upon the arrival, they met or saw Paul Vasquez, 23 years, with injuries. He was taken to the Northern Regional, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Investigation is that he was on a motorcycle, which was found at the scene, and he collided into an object in that area, causing his fatal injuries.
Okay. Any explanation as to the cause of the accident itself, sir?
The information that we gathered, and also from the is that he lost control of the motorcycle.
The other fatal accident on Settlement Day happened in the Sand Creek village of Santa Cruz. That's where 26-year-old Gideon Ishim lost his life after falling out of a moving pickup truck. According to police, the vehicle's driver has been served with a notice of intended prosecution. Here's how Senior Superintendent Gilberto Romero explained why during this morning's press briefing.
On Saturday, the 19th day of November 2022, police responded to a fatal traffic accident at Santa Cruz Village. Upon the arrival, they learned that Gideon Ishim, 26 years, fell from the back of a pickup truck. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. An investigation is being carried out. An IP has been served on the driver of the pickup, pending further investigation at this time.
What sort of criminal liabilities does a driver have if a passenger is in the pan of your pickup and that person ends up in an accident? Maybe they fall out or they crash into some other vehicle and that person in the back is injured.
Yes, the driver of that vehicle is liable, and it is illegal to carry passengers in the back of pickups. That is illegal. That is not authorized. Vehicle that is authorized to take passengers.
At the top of the news, we told you how police are investigating one of their own, an officer on interdiction, and a former cop as the main suspect in the San Pedro robbery turned murder of businessman Elvis Raul Polanco. Well, 7 News has learned that another cop out of Corozal may be facing an investigation by his peers. That's because an unofficial complaint has emerged against him that he engaged in an unlawful sexual relationship with a female minor. But no official report has been made, and sources suggest that the alleged victim's family may be under some pressure. This morning we asked Police Commissioner Chester Williams about the case, and here's what he had to say.
I don't know where that could be coming from. I know that, yes, there is such accusation. And my instruction to Commander PSB, as well as the officer commanding Corozal, is to make sure that we do all the necessary investigation to ascertain if, in fact, the allegations are true. I am not going to say that it is not true because I was not there. And when it comes to incidents that involved abuse against women or children, I would never, ever countenance such behavior. From what I was briefed, subsequent to my instructions, is that there were many inconsistencies and they were reluctant on the part of the complainant to give certain information. I will check again today to see if there have been any progress with the investigation. I trust and hope that what you're saying is not true. Because if in fact there is pressure from any police to the family for them to back off, that I will not tolerate. That certainly is tantamount to perverting the course of justice or tampering with witness. It's a criminal offense, and police officers should know that.
While we had the opportunity, we asked the police about the latest statistics which the Belize Crime Observatory released last week. According to their analysis, major crimes in both urban and rural Belize are up by 33% compared to last year. In addition, major crimes are 1.5 times more likely to occur in the urban Belize district than in the rural areas. Nationally, major crimes are also up this year. The Kampal, who is always ready to argue with our newsroom about crime statistics, was very measured in his comments today when we asked about it.
I don't like to fool these numbers too much. I saw your director ranting on Sun Up this.
Jules, you mean?
That's your director. That's your news director, right? Ranting on Sun Up this morning, and to some extent trying to make the Belizean people feel like the minister had misled the media in respect to the crime stats. Right now, I don't have the stats on me, so I cannot comment objectively on it. The only crime I follow most are murders. And the reason for that is because a life lost to me is a whole family that get affected by it. And myself and my team, we work tirelessly to try and avert murders from occurring. And as far as I am aware, and without the stats available, the murders are down compared to last year. So I heard our director said that the minister should compare this year's stats to 2021. Well, I will compare 2021 murder stats to 2022 murder stats. And the figures are down by more than 10, which is like around 16 to 20% reduction. And he can fact check me on this too.
You know he will.
Campbell Williams also insisted that major crime statistics must be discussed in the proper context. Here's how he insisted that although poverty increased during the 2 years of the COVID pandemic, major crime stats are down compared to the pre-COVID year of 2018.
When it comes to the other major crimes, I will have to consult with JIC to see where we are with it. But again, I think that your director, I'm not trying to be hard on my friend, right? I think your director need to be cognizant that even if you were to compare 2022 stats to 2018, and you can show that in 2022, you have a reduction compared to 2018, it is something that should be applauded for the simple fact that 2018 was pre-COVID, that's one. And two, 2018, we had less population than 2021. With an increase in population, you would anticipate that there may also be an increase in crime. COVID came and have put many people into poverty. Those persons who were at marginal line have now fell back into poverty due to COVID. And like he rightly said this morning, that one of the leading causes of crime is poverty. So if you have more people in poverty now because of COVID, you would anticipate that 2022 major crime would be well above 2018. And we are still down.
At 7 a.m. on Friday, the 18th of November, nearly 2 days late, the search for a new climate deal in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt ended, and with it COP27. But it wasn't necessarily on a jubilant note. Still, there was a breakthrough, at least for those on the front line of the climate crisis. Something that the Executive Director of the Caribbean Climate Change Center, Dr. Colin Young, referred to as a win. That win, a newly agreed fund for loss and damage, the kind of damage that Belizeans have recently had a lot of experience with in the aftermath of Hurricane Lisa. It's a deal that negotiators from small island developing states say came after decades of asking. And on Sunday night, in his post, Young said, quote, "I know for many this is just words on a paper, but these words in paragraph 3 establishing of a fund for responding to loss and damage took 30 years of effort by small island developing states. 30 long years. When we are united and when there is leadership, perseverance, and commitment to fight for what is right and just, we succeed." End quote. And while the establishment of this fund is historic, it remains, for now, an agreement on just the existence of a fund, an emergency bank account for climate disasters. But with a current balance of 0. Negotiations over the next year will have to determine who oversees the fund, who pays into it, and who can take money out. Developed countries like the US and the European Union and some international institutions are expected to be contributors to the fund. Small island developing states like Belize, Barbados, and the Grenada are expected to be the beneficiaries. And that's all we have for you for tonight. Thanks for watching with your news. I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great night, stay safe, and join me back here tomorrow at 6.